Hey, it's your favorite remote work enthusiast, Delilah. You guys, I am so excited because today I am sharing a hot lead with y'all, but I'm not just gonna be the one sharing it. We actually have a representative from the company who's gonna give us all of the details. And this is for a bilingual Spanish-English speaking customer service position from TTEC. Now, if you're not familiar with TTEC, this is a company that I've been working with closely for the last 3 years, and a lot of my subscribers have gotten hired for their jobs. They have opportunities in customer service, healthcare, insurance, and everything in between. And they also hire globally. So they have a lot of TTEC brick and mortar locations, as well as a lot of online specific positions, and they are all over. So it's really exciting to be able to share such a large, reputable company with y'all. And it's really exciting to have a guest help me share this hot lead. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. But first, make sure you are subscribed and you have those notifications on, because I share the hottest work from home opportunities every single weekday on my channel. All we talk about is remote work and what's going on in this wonderful world of remote work. So if you want to land your very own remote job, then you need to make sure that you are locked in here. And once you take care of that, we'll be ready to jump in and meet our special guest. Hey Ramses, how are you today?
Hey Delilah, how are you? Thank you for having me here today.
I'm well. Thank you for joining me and my audience. I know they are super excited to hear about all of the great things TTEC has going on, especially since I hear TTEC has a great bilingual CSR position available. And please tell us all about it.
Well, thank you for asking. And we do. We have a customer service representative bilingual position. Essentially, we have hundreds of roles to fill. So it's not just a few spots that we need. We have hundreds of positions. We have an opportunity available for everyone who is interested, who speaks both English and Spanish.
Okay, good to know. And I know my audience members are Spanish-English bilingual. So this is perfect because I get asked about who hires for bilingual Spanish-English.
Sure.
So I know number one question on everyone's mind is, how much does this role pay?
Show me the money, right? That is the $1 million question here. I feel like we're in an episode of Shark Tank, but as far as the money, during training, it is a 2-week training period. It's about the equivalent of 80 hours. So it is self-led. During training, customer service representatives will, earn themselves $16 an hour. Once they successfully complete training, then, that pay scale dramatically increases anywhere between $19 up to $23 an hour.
Oh, nice. And is this full-time or part-time? And what about, is it like a permanent or a seasonal position?
So that's a great question. It's actually a full-time seasonal position. So that means, they will be working full-time hours, but for a seasonal period of time. After that term is over, they're more than welcome to apply to our other hundreds of opportunities that we have available at TTEC for a permanent position. So this is a great way to enter the company.
Nice. And what is that season? Do you know?
Yeah, and it usually runs through the enrollment period for benefits. So you're looking at December, sometimes early January, but mostly it's late December.
Okay, the ending period?
Yeah, the ending period would be about late December.
Okay, cool. And what states are included in this role? Are there any restrictions?
So we do have preferred states in ways that we can expedite the licensing process and, also the training. But there are some states that we currently do not recruit for as far as this position specifically. And that would be California, New York. There are very few.
Okay. And I'll definitely make sure that I have those states listed for you guys.
Yes. We'll get that over to you. We can add it to the description box below. So make sure you guys check that out so you guys can get all the information from Delilah.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to the actual role, what is in a typical day? Like, what would a CSR do?
Yeah, so this is geared towards healthcare benefits. So again, if you've ever worked in the past, in any of your viewers, if they ever held a job in the past, they know that every year there's an enrollment period for benefits, right? And so essentially what our customer service representatives will be doing will be guiding those group of demographic through that process. Maybe they have a question on, hey, is this the right benefit for my family? Or maybe they're helping someone that may be elderly and their needs may be completely different than those of a single person, or maybe someone that has a family of 4, 5, what have you. So it's really them guiding them through the process and ensuring that whatever benefits they are selecting, it is the best fit for their lifestyle and their current living situation.
Okay, so it's a healthcare customer service role.
Correct.
What calls would they be receiving? What things would people ask when they call them?
Yeah, so questions people will ask, again, they're inbound calls. So the questions, our customer service representatives will be answering in a typical day would be, hey, is this doctor part of my network, right? Within my health, does my health plan cover this doctor? Other questions would be, does this medicine get covered with this health plan? So the typical questions that we probably ourselves have or have had in the past, when we enroll for benefits, the only difference here is that they're providing that personalized service to those callers on the other end of the phone.
Okay, and what are the requirements?
So the requirements are pretty simple, but we do require 100% attendance during training. And here are the steps, right, to become a licensed healthcare representative. You would apply for the position first at ttecjobs.com. And again, we'll provide the link to your viewers. Once they get selected, they will go through a selection process by way of an interview process. And then they would be told be advised as to when their training. Training usually starts every Monday, I believe, and throughout the month. There's a training class every other Monday. And so that training, it goes on for about 2 weeks, right? And like I said, it is self-led, but there are instances where a trainer will then check up on their status to make sure they're on track with the rest of their training class. Once they complete those 80 hours of training, then they would be scheduled for them to sit their state exam. Whatever state they live in, they would attend a proctor site center and they would sit the exam there. In between, before they do sit the exam, TTEC will 100% cover all the costs, all the fees, and we will also cover the background check. Anytime you take a state exam, there are, all these different instances and, that people will need to go through, and the background checks are one of them. So we cover 100% of the cost from beginning to end. All you have to do is really show up.
Nice. And I didn't quite catch it, but do you have to have experience for this role? Or what if you're showing up with no experience, but a great attitude?
Great question. So we prefer candidates that have experience in customer service for about 6 months, right? We feel that that's going to give you the right tools and, and the skill set to really have that interaction with your customers day to day. So anywhere from 6 months or above, that would be comfortable in our sweet spot.
Okay, good to know. I think, most people have at least.
Right. And the great thing is that customer service experience can be anywhere. It can be retail. It could be maybe a prior call center. It can be maybe you worked at a doctor's office as front desk. Any type of face-to-face interaction, we would consider that customer service.
Okay. And then you talked about the licensing process. Would they be getting licensed in their home state? And
yes.
What if they move? What happens then?
Great question. I feel like you're the oracle today. You're giving me all the right questions. I don't know why. This is why your viewers love you so much, I think, because you know the questions to ask. But yeah, so again, they would be licensed in their home state. Like I said, every state is different, but we would guide them through the process and we will pay for all the fees from beginning to end. If they were to move at some point, if they're still during training, they will contact their recruiter and then we would help them with that process of how to transfer their education onto their new home state. If they're already out on the production floor and they're working, then they would speak to their team lead or their manager and they would be led to that process. We would guide everybody through the process from beginning to end.
Okay, cool. And what about so you said it's self-led training, it's 80 hours.
Correct.
They have to sit and take their exam. What happens after they do all of that and then they get licensed? Is the position guaranteed after they've done all that work?
So very great question. So once they actually get licensed and their background check comes back and they're cleared, everything is good to go, then they would go into the next steps, which is when do you start production, right? at that point, the recruiter that they've been working with would contact them and let them know, hey, this is, or their trainer, they would let them know, hey, this is going to be your start date, and these are the different working schedules available. The great thing about this position, again, is that it's 100% remote. So your viewers can work out of the comfort of their home in their pajamas, and nobody's ever going to know, right? So again, it is remote. It is in an at-home position. So it provides that added flexibility. And we do have different schedule blocks for them to choose from. So before they hit production, they would touch base with their trainer and select their first, second, and third option as far as schedules. And so again, they are in the driver's seat and they're controlling the process 100% of the time.
Nice. Yeah. And what happens if, let's say, they don't pass their exam? Like we've been talking about all the
well, you know, we all have a bad day. And so if they don't pass the exam, they will be able to retake it. But I do hear that there is a waiting period. Every state is different. And again, every state has their own regulations and their, you know, and their procedures. So we would then advise for them to check with their trainer so they can be advised of what next steps to take. But there will be a time for them to be able to retake that test. Again, every state is different. It can be a few days in between or weeks in between the first take and the retake.
Okay, so there is a way you can kind of like bounce back, it sounds like. There might be a way.
There might be a way to bounce back, but we want everybody to pass the first time. It's a great question, but I want to add this. The great thing about the course material that they provide during training, they have a very high graduation success rate so that more than the majority of our candidates who go through that training, they will pass their first time their state exam. So it's tailored to their home state, and it's backed by a very high success rate from the different classes and years. You know, we've done this prior, so very confident that most people will pass, if not all.
That's the goal. First chance.
That is the goal, yes.
First time you take it, pass it. Yes.
First time we're going to pass, we're going to get this job. And, you know, you guys got to thank Delilah for bringing the best jobs to you. And again, it's $16 an hour during training for 2 weeks, about 80 hours of training. Then after training, once you do become licensed, meaning you've passed a background check, you got your state license, then at that point, during your first day of production and on, then your pay scale would then increase anywhere between $19 to $23 an hour.
Nice. And I guess my last question would be for the folks sitting on the fence, why become a licensed healthcare insurance agent?
It's something that you get to keep. It's a license that you get to keep for the rest of your life, right? So it's something that you've earned through the state. You were honored this license by your viewer's home state. And so you can take that license anywhere. So let's say that you give us a shot and you're here for 2-3 years, you know, and maybe another opportunity opens up in the future. Guess what? You can take that license with you. It doesn't stay with TTEC. You own that license 100% of the time. The added benefit is that TTEC pays for all the fees. So it doesn't cost your viewers anything. The only thing is, let's wake up in the morning, get to training on time, and be there 100% of the time. But if I can say this really quick in Spanish for all your Spanish and bilingual viewers.
Go ahead.
Yes, awesome. So, este puesto es de servicio al cliente para toda la gente que habla inglés y español. Si eres bilingüe y tienes las ganas de aprender un nuevo producto, un nuevo trabajo, y eso significa que tú vas a obtener tu licencia de salud para tú poder atender llamadas a tus clientes en cuestión de beneficios, en cuestión de cuál es el paquete de doctor de medicinas, esta es la posición para ti. Nosotros te vamos a entrenar, tú vas a tomar el examen, nosotros vamos a pagar por todo los costos desde el principio hasta el final, y como dije anteriormente, durante el entrenamiento son $16 por hora. Una vez que tengas tu licencia, vas a ganar entre $19 y $23 la hora. All right, Delilah.
I don't know.
That was my Spanish piece for everybody. You're like, it sounds great. You know, and here's the thing, right? I want your viewers to also be open to, maybe they're new to TTEC, right? Maybe they've never heard about TTEC before, or maybe they have, and, you know, like you said, they're on the fence. They're thinking about, do I go with this company or do I go with a different company? I've been with TTEC for 17 years myself. I started as a customer service representative 17 years ago. Don't ask me my age, but, you know, if you ever seen that dinosaur movie and you see the mosquito and the fossil, that was pretty much me at TTEC day one. So 17 years forward, I'm still here. And now I am working the efforts with my peers. It's a large team behind us, trying to recruit a lot of people, right? We're providing opportunities. And I like to say, people come here for a paycheck, but they stay here for a career. And that's true to this day. You know, I've been here 17 years and there's a lot of opportunity. We are a company with a global footprint. So we are in over 20 plus countries. Maybe someone gets hired in the States and 2 years later, their life situation changes where they have to move to a different country. Well, guess what? We might have a TTEC center in that other country, and there might be a way for them to be able to transfer. So there's a lot of opportunity stateside, but also offshore. But again, you know, right now we are so excited in providing all these, you know, bilingual positions here in the States.
Lovely, and I love it. And thank you so much, Ramses, for your time telling us about this awesome bilingual position from TTEC. And you guys, Ramses said it best, okay? You can get paid well, you can work in your pajamas, you can earn from home, you get a license that you can take with you wherever you decide you want to go. But it sounds like after 17 years of being at TTEC,
and we pay for all the fees, so you know there's nothing to lose.
So it sounds like you might not want to go anywhere. So the description box will have the link for this opportunity. Make sure you get your application in ASAP. And thank you so much, Ramses. I truly appreciate your time. I know my audience does, and hopefully this isn't the last time we speak. Take care.
Oh, it definitely won't be. Thank you, Delilah. See ya.
Bye. So there you have it. Ramses said it best, okay? This is an awesome opportunity and they are gonna help you get licensed. And I've talked so much on my channel about healthcare, insurance, and this is the best of both worlds. And anytime a company will foot the bill for you to get additional licensing or certifications, take them up on it. It only helps you elevate your career and your income. So this is an awesome opportunity for those who live in the qualifying states and have the requirements. And if that's you, the link to apply is in the description box below. So thank you so much, TTEC, for sharing this awesome opportunity with my audience. I love these exclusives that I can share with y'all. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful and I will talk to you soon. Bye.